Thank you, President John. Fellow Rotarians and guests, today's AV specialist and our speaker is Hugh McPherson. Hugh earned his degree in agribusiness management, since the theme of today seems to be Penn State. Is fitting that he earned it there. And when I looked on the Penn State website for the description of agribusiness management, it was quite long. However, the last sentence said, "The quality and diversity of the program enables agribusiness majors to undertake a variety of jobs." And Hugh is certainly living proof of that promise. While studying at Penn State, Hugh was a trumpet player with the Penn State Marching Blue Band. He also participated with the Penn State Singing Lions. After graduation, Hugh was able to leverage his family farm, his agribusiness degree, and his performance background into an entertainment dynasty the likes that New Park had never seen before. One counts, yeah. In May of 1997, Hugh became the owner and Maize master at Maize Quest. Since that time, Maize Quest has grown from a single corn maze attraction into the largest collection of people-sized mazes in the world or maybe the solar system. Using expertise gained from growing his own one-farm operation, the Maize Quest Fun Park, into a popular local attraction, Hugh has also helped over 70 farm operators build entertainment profit centers on their farms. The Maize Quest Fun Park is home to his family farm, Maple Lawn Farms. In 2008, Hugh became the farm market manager of Maple Lawn Farms. Hugh currently serves on the board of directors for the North American Farmers Direct Marketing Association, and he's just back from the West Coast for their conference. And Hugh, I'd like to thank you for lending your time and talents on the board of the finest convention visitors bureau in Pennsylvania. The solar system, thank you. Why not? Hugh McPherson has been losing customers, for 16 years. Today, Hugh will talk to us about family fun, family business, and being flexible when you reach intersections along the way. Please give a warm Rotary welcome to Hugh McPherson.
I'm a fairly kinetic person, so I'm going to need to walk around a little bit. I can share with you that I have the absolute best PowerPoint remote available, certainly the loveliest, as Anne will be doing it manually. That's right. So, there we go. I was trying to figure out, what would I tell you if I came to the river? And so I thought what I should do is kind of give you a background. Now, any of you in family businesses? Just hands up. Anybody in family businesses? Right? Anybody work with family daily? No? Just me? All right. Nothing that I say is going to go quiet. No. We'll figure out a way. Now, I wanted to talk about family fun, family business, and about being flexible at intersections, because I think you probably all agree that no matter what business you're in, it is really the journey as opposed to the destination. Maize pun completely intended. And what we have to figure out is, how are we going to manage that journey along the way? But you might wonder, see how that remote? That's really good. It is really good. That's right, you might wonder who I am. So, in any case, Maple Lawn Farms, we grow. Are you ready for it? See if anybody can count and get a special prize if you can. Apples, peaches, blueberries, cherries, nectarines, apricots, corn, wheat, soybeans, plums, pumpkins, raspberries, and memories is what we grow at the farm. And that's where I grew up. I grew up doing that kind of stuff. I grew up managing, right? Yeah. Being managed as part of a pick your own operation. And that's where I learned agritourism. And that's how Maize Quest came about. And then along the way, that's how our franchise system began. That's where we help other farms design other attractions for farms all over the world. As we like to say, if you want to come up with some really grand things, the Maize Quest, the sun never sets on the Maize Quest empire, and that's just because we put in a band of maize in the Philippines. So that's a pretty loose association. I'm not exactly sure about what happens over in India, but it's close. It's close. And this is when it all began. See how helpful I was as a youth riding around on the forklift with pallets of peaches. And what I found is agritourism really began when I was even younger than this. It was when I was 5. And I realized we had an apple orchard. People would come and pick apples, and they would buy cider jugs. And I thought, that's really neat. What a great plan. And then at one point, I realized that I could carry those jugs of cider. And when I did, I realized that it was especially useful to carry them for little old ladies. And I found that if I carried those jugs of cider to the little old ladies out in their car, a wonderful thing would happen. I had no idea what the concept was, but it turned out it was called tips. And I realized early, as many of you who worked in the service business found, if you refuse the tip the first time, boy, they just empty that whole little change purse with the clip on the end of that in your hands. And what I found is that is agritourism, right? We had added value by making cider to those apples. We had added value by carrying it to her car, and the delight on their faces. That was enough to free up those tips. And I carried that the whole way through until I realized, aside from being nice to grandmothers, right? Then I realized, as I got older and I went through my own thing, a terrible thought, once I started my own business, a terrible thought occurred to me. It's that no one cares and no one needs you. And I was heartbroken. And then I realized that I, like this guy, and like all of you, we're all listening to the same radio station, right? WIIFM. What is in it for me? And I found that if my farm had fallen off the face of the earth, no one was going to go hungry. Maybe me. Right? No one was going to not have a wonderful time with their family on the weekend. And that's when I realized that some things had changed. I read a pivotal book in my life. It was called The Experience Economy. And in it, Joe Pine says that about these time schedules, right, they used to be able to just make your product better. And that was great. Just grow better strawberries. And people find out that it was better. And that's fine. Then a really annoying thing happened sometime in the... Oh, sorry about that. You can go back one if you like. Sorry about that. She doesn't know when this cue is. I'll kick. No change. That's right. An annoying thing happened in the 90s. Not only did you have to have really great stuff, you had to be nice to people. You had to have service. Right? And then having the top quality, that only got you in the game. And then what I figured out is I came along right about the time the next thing happened. Right? High service, mandatory, only gets you in the game. Top quality, let's not even talk about that because you're out of the game now if you don't have top quality. And what happened is it turns out that we are all in the entertainment business. Now it took us a while to figure this out because we used to sell the fruit and packers. It took us a while to figure out that everybody is in the entertainment business.
Gotcha.
And really, even the way we make our displays, every single thing we do is the entertainment business. Because we could disappear. The only competitive advantage we have on our little farm was that we were in the entertainment business. We could present these people with a day, a unique experience that they just couldn't get anywhere else. And as time goes on, people are further and further removed from the farm. How many of you had a relative who farmed? Right? How many of the people with hands up are over 50? Exactly. Right? Not many people have them. They're further and further away from the farm. So everything we do is entertainment. And that was pivotal as we made our change from farm to fun park. All right. And encouragement is really the real story. Why in the world would any sane parents let someone come home to their farm where we've been growing stuff and say, you know my business plan? I'm going to charge people to walk around in the field. I mean, you have to have some encouraging parents. Right? That's a nice idea, son. Write a business plan and call the banker. Get your own loan for it. Right? But they were preaching. My parents were just crazy enough to realize that bringing people to the farm, the way they had done it, which was by pick your own, something new was going to have to happen. And what we found is people are willing to travel for entertainment even when they won't travel for food. Right? They don't really need me for food. They do entertainment. And the fun part is entertainment dollars are in a different section of the customer's wallet. They think about those dollars different. And that's how we started making the change. With the corn maze first. Then we added all these other attractions because we realized that said the entertainment time should probably exceed the drive time by 2. Anyone who's been to New Park, our claim to fame as we go to these other farm conventions, people say, oh gosh, it's hard for me to market, it's hard for me to market. I say, look, I'm 9 turns and 13 miles off a numbered highway. Okay? If it can happen at my place, it can happen anywhere. And so we made our change from farm to fun park. And then we had a funny thing happen. In the second year we were open, again, encouragement, an extension agent called us up and said, this is so neat what you're doing. Nobody else is doing this. I have a guy who wants to see what's going on. And he came and he's asking me all these questions, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I spent a lot of money figuring out how to do this wrong. Right? And he gets all of the benefit. So I said, maybe we'll put together a package so we can help this guy out. We can kind of share some of the costs. We can think of this like a co-op. Farmers know co-ops. So we made our Maize franchise system. And we started sharing the cost, and we hired a full-time, high-quality designer and graphic designers, all those kind of things. We packaged it all together so the farmers didn't have to work so hard. They could have their attraction to farmers for the rest of the time. And so we added a couple places. And it's really fun when we get to everybody together. We want to get them all together, sharing their ideas, creating more from working together. And the last thing is we learned that the experience is the marketing, right? I don't have a giant budget. I don't have $1 million to spend on advertising. And especially when we were getting started, we were bootstrapping it. And people, the best way to bootstrap it is just make sure that the experience is the marketing. When you finally trick someone to come in and try it, make it really good. And then you don't have to buy as much advertising. That's the most important thing. We try to get this across to farmers. I think let's just throw them on any old moldy wagon. We pull that out of the barn. No! Right? It has to be a spectacular experience. And even in your businesses, even if they're not crazy, fun, parky kind of businesses, is it a great experience to walk in and buy stuff? Is that really fun? Yeah. That's the way to work on it. So now, maybe? Yeah, that's the one. All right. Now I want to talk to you about a key feature that has been the feature, kind of the central part of how Maple Lawn Farms has been held together. I'm Generation 5. My kids are Generation 6. I actually just was in a meeting with the teachers, and Ian actually wrote down on his thing he wants to be a Maize master. And I was thinking back to my days as guidance counselor, and that wasn't one of the checkboxes. And business at Penn State wasn't one of the checkboxes till my dad invented it because they weren't going to let him graduate because he spent too much time at the business school. So he's a clever fellow. He came up with his own major. They went for it. So did I. All right. So it's all about encouragement, right? How many encouraging things have you said to people this week? To your staff, right? To your customers, to your clients. How many encouraging things have you heard this week? It makes an enormous difference. The little lady over here, yep, go ahead, you can go on. There you go. The little lady on the left there, that's my grandmother Mabel. Now she's 5 foot, nothing, 100 and nothing. And when my dad was 18 years old, my grandfather Hugh, for whom I am named, died of a heart attack. Bam. Now I want you to picture yourselves at 18. Oh gosh. Right? 18 years old, my dad. And my little 100 and nothing pound grandma get called to the bank. They don't set up a meeting, they get called. Famously, on the way to the funeral, my dad takes a margin call from the bank. Things are looking pretty bleak. They walk into the big long table, and it's got bankers, it's got lawyers, it's got accountants sitting around it. They all start bustling their stuff out. They're going to figure out how to sell off Maple Lawn Farms, get as much money as they can, and that's the end. Close the book. Little lady there says, hang on, before we start, we're going to pray. Can you imagine the look on their faces? When those men looked at her, and then put their heads down, and did what she said, they prayed before that meeting. And when she looked up, she said, the one thing we're not doing is selling the farm. We need to figure out how to make this work. I'm paraphrasing. All right. Do you know the encouragement that was from my father? 18 years old, and he's going to take over something that operates thousands of acres, 40-plus employees and their families, and he's going to do that at 18. Remember yourself at 18. Well, I'm glad that didn't happen to me at 18. Let me tell you, right? encouragement from that lady. The other one is my mom there on the side. And she is kind of the source of the next thing I want to leave you with, and that's the 2 silos. My mom was a tremendous encouragement to me all throughout my life. She and I came back and we got to run businesses together. It was so wonderful, a great time. She was the heart and light of the farm market. I was building Maize Quest as if it were my own child. It was wonderful, but they were separate. And then she died in 2007. And the whole world stops turning. And I know that you have had these times when the whole world has stopped turning. And you are forced, and you get the chance, it's the same thing, to just take a look at everything. To pull it all apart and see what's going to happen now. And what we found was, I didn't need to build another Maize. I didn't need to buy more advertising. What I found is we have 2 silos on the farm. We had the farm market experience and the fruit, and we had the Maizes and the entertainment. And they were separate. Wonderful, but separate. And so when I was forced to take over the road, starting in 2008, I found that the biggest gains could be had by tying the 2 together. And so, we hit an intersection. What are we going to do? How are we going to make sure that the fruit people get to have fun and the fun people get to get fruit? How do we make sure that we pull it all together? And I'll share with you my trickiest marketing secret of all time secrets, the best redeemed coupon. I'll beat any of your coupons. We started giving every single person who came to the Maize, we give them their wristbands, and we say, hey, and you get free apple coupon. Redeemable only at the farm market. Why did it take me till the death of a parent in 2008 to figure this out? I had to go crossing those 2 silos, pull those things together so that we could do this. We could get all those people who were having a great time out in the orchard into the corn maze, and all those corn maze people who were coming out, one click should do it. And we could get them into the farm market where we could sell them apple cider donuts. Really, the key to success is apple cider donuts. They aren't healthy, but they are tasty. And I'm in the entertainment business. You're not worried about health when you go to my place. You want a donut. All right? And the way we launched the donuts was by tying it all together, tying that experience together. So you come to Maple Lawn Farms, you pick apples, you go get lost at the Maize, and on the way out, well, you sure don't miss those apple cider donuts. Right? Pull those things together. The last thing we'll leave you with, because nobody's ever said, if you get done early, is the concept that more is more. We do not underdo it at Maize Quest, right? We're Robin Hood, so I'm Robin Hood, right? We do not underdo it. And I have found that more is more. Now that sounds pretty simple. It took me forever, right? Because we all labor under this assumption that the world is scarce, and for you to win, you're going to take something from me. If I want to win, I'm going to take something from you because it's scarce. But it's not. It is a monstrous big world out there. We have tens of thousands of people come through Maize Quest Fun Park all over the. I haven't scratched the surface within 10 miles of me. The world is bigger than you can ever imagine. And fewer people know about you, anything. That's the thing. My favorite quote is from Olin Miller, and he says, "We worry a lot less about what people thought of us if we realize how infrequently they do." Concept is more, right? We need to this is so wonderful that you're here, all the things that you're saying, all the things that you're doing, the whole purpose of this club, someone even said it, and it's perfectly like we planned it, is that we really need to get everybody together so that we can have big ideas. So I get our franchisees together, we share all these ideas, and one of the ideas I just got yesterday from a phone call from somebody who was inspired by our meetings and our getting together and sharing. And the one idea that I want to bring to you, because my new ally in marketing, Kim Walsh-Phillips, 5 foot nothing, 100 nothing, but man is she smart. She said to me, make sure that everything you do has a reason and a purpose and a way to tie back in to your business. And so I think I've come up with something pretty good. And actually, I did. It was Tom Quay out in Minnesota, right? I'm getting ideas from Minnesota. And who gets anything from Minnesota? All right. So, my idea for a year that I want to propose to you. September is going to become Community Group Month. I've heard a zillion different charities that you guys all work with. Well, how about I have a way for you to make some money? Right? We're going to have your charities, anybody who wants to, you can sign up. We'll give your members, your friends, your Facebook friends, anybody, will give them a discount to come. And we'll give you $1 back for every single person who comes in the month of September. Why? Because October's busy already, right? And in September, why can't we partner and everybody win? So community groups, I'm about to give you my email address here, so you can think it all up. But the thing I want you to go home with is just a couple things. As we look down the end of a fun day these kids were having, looking through the tunnel, right? Encouragement. Go home today and encourage someone. One of my favorite preachers, Andy Staley, said, encouragement's the cheapest thing you can do. It's free. Right? It only costs you a little bit of your deal. Kind of community to it. Right? Encouragement. Go home and look for some silos. Look for some places where you can, not real silos, look for silos that you've got in your business. That all you got to do, the most profitable thing, is just tie them together. People love you here, people love you here. Put them together. They can love you for more than one reason. I love my wife for more than one reason. Right? And last but certainly not least, go home and think more is more. Right? How can I give? How can I open my hands to the abundance that's in the world? Right? It's not a scarcity game. It's an abundant world. And that's what I want you to think about today. So, I'll be here for another couple minutes. I'm 3 minutes ahead of schedule. Right? Drop me an email if you have any ideas. Thank you so much for having me, and enjoy.
I have to admit that that was not the presentation that I was really expecting. I think with the logistics here, we'll take questions for Hugh if you just stop down and see Hugh. But while you were talking about the community group month, I was thinking about 319 Rotarians in this club and their spouses wandering around your maze, and that's not a pretty sight. I think I've seen the end of that movie before, and I'm not too sure we want to watch it. Great presentation. Congratulations.